Small doubt, Ranjit.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Actually, I have installed everything while creating the setup. I have created a user and the password. I have just noted down in my notepad. So, is there any can we reset the password? Suppose if we forget the password, is it possible to reset?
Which password? Jenkins,
Jenkins.
Jenkins password, right? Yes, yes. You can
Yeah.
you can able to reset it. Okay. I'll tell you how you can do that. But you should remember the path where the while you log in, right, you will get one key, a big key, right? The administrative password that you should remember from the step. Okay. So you need to do that. Okay. Let me show
Okay.
you how we can do that.
If it is not there, then again we need to uninstall and reinstall, right?
No, there is definitely some. No, 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 no. Again, there will be some options. If that is also not, then you see normally what happens in enterprise area. If you're working for an organization, right? If you forget the password, and you're not able to do that, there will be some options how you can recover the password. It's not like that you have to uninstall. It is not advisable one. You should not do that. Okay. I'll show you how we can recover the password. Just give me a minute.
Okay, okay.
Okay, so let me share my screen. What I'm going to do here. Okay, so
Small silly doubt. So which one do you prefer, installing Jenkins in local machine or any AWS machine?
that's what actually which area you are comfortable. So if you are comfortable with the installing permissioning, anyway, we are working on the AWS, the free tier, the free tier services, right? So you can use basically unnecessary. If you install Jenkins in your laptop, then you are going to get some space, right, with the Jenkins server. So if you again, if you are installing on your laptop, be ready for the firewall. That you will get lots of firewall issues, and you should know how to set up the firewalls in your laptop. It is a little challenging, but it is good to your own laptop, right? It's up to you. See, our main aim is to know how to use the tool and how to set up the tool and how to do the work. And where to do it does not matter. Even like
The
in your
voice is
laptop.
breaking, Ranjit. I am not.
Yeah,
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 Ben.
Yes,
yeah,
Ranjit.
yeah.
Yes,
Some
right.
sound was coming.
Those who are not speaking.
Actually, someone is traveling. I believe the roadside sounds and all coming. See, if Ranjit Swain is talking, Venkat
Yes,
Bhai,
I
could you
think
please
the wind.
mute it?
It is like some wind sound is coming.
No, Venkat, can you just mute? Okay. Yeah, the sound was coming from Venkat's mic. Okay, that's fine. So Venkat, okay. So as I told, right, it's up to you, right? See, our main aim is to just learn the Jenkins, do the setups and do the configurations and do the automations. And where it is installed, it doesn't matter, because most of the companies, they have their cloud environment where they have installed the Jenkins, that they have their remote server. Either it is Linux machines or Windows machines. Okay, Jenkins can run anywhere, right? In Mac, Linux, and Windows, as it is built in Java. So it is platform independent and it can run in on any machine, right? Because if you are installing on your laptop, then you'll get lots of challenges when you are going to do the setups. Okay, what is happening here? Why it's not connecting?
Okay, Ranjit. I think I got some Java compatibility error. So
Uh-huh.
when I install Java, update our got resolved.
What version you installed?
I think 8, I think.
Java 8, right? Java 8 should work. So where,
Yes, yes.
in your personal laptop or instance?
Personal laptop.
Acha, personal laptop. Okay, that means you I think no, you installed. Have you set up the environment variable in Windows? You have to set up the
Yes,
environment
yes.
variables.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes,
You
yes.
did set up, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. Fine, let me check. Okay, we'll have a look. What is this? What is happening? 1 second. Let me restart this machine. I think that could be so. What is this? So the check status check. Okay, so let me just open my GitHub account. So today, what we are going to do, we are going to do one small Java program. What is happening from your account request settings? Okay, so if I go my repositories, right? So we are going to do this small DevOps web Java applications today, okay? And then later we'll just move on to the different projects, okay? So just let me restart this session. What is happening? Okay, for that, what we have to do first thing, as it is a Java project, right? So for Java project, what we need a tool to build the project. whether it is Maven or Gradle, based on your company's or project's requirement, right? Based on your company uses, you have to use that tool. So how will you use the tool? So let me first show you on my local laptop. So you have to set up the respective tool on the server. First, you have to install it. Once you install, so where you have to install? Can anybody answer where you have to install the respective build tool?
In Jenkins,
That is the plugin you have to install.
Go.
And then on the respective server where you want to build the project. So there will be a dedicated server where you want to build the project. That server should have Maven installed. That project should have the Maven installed. Okay, so that is why I just want to show you. It's failing somehow. System. I got the same IP address again. I restarted the service, right? No, a different IP address. Okay. Okay, there's might be some issues with the Jenkins. Let me restart the Jenkins server. Just, Jenkins. So,
starts Jenkins.
I'll do that. Restart.
Here also small doubt Rajesh. So if any issues in the Jenkins, you are restarting from server. So from local machine, how will it be?
Yeah, I'll tell you. One second. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. So if your local machine is Unix server or Linux server, then you can use this one to start and stop. Okay, and debug any issues. If it is Windows machine, then you have to just go to the services. Okay, so services. If you search in your lab, start button, right? If you search for services, you will get one service window, right? In the service window, you will see lots of services will be running. Similarly, one Jenkins service also will be running there. So you have to just start and stop that service. That's all.
Okay, got it.
So okay, now I have restarted the Jenkins server. So let me check. Okay, so it started now. Let's see. Then it is not any Jenkins server. It is, I think, my network issue or something. It is not able to connect.
Yeah, Ranjit, 1 second. You just check this instant status check on Ranjit.
It is showing some error. Yeah, yeah. That's why I was just checking that logs, right? System log. It is not displaying the system logs.
No, Ranjit. Like you can see, like under the instance, there is some details will be there, right? There, you just click for status check whether the system that instance is failed with means failed with the system status check or instance status check. Oh, okay, now it is passed. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it is passed already. Yeah. So, no, it is because of my server, my network. I think my network is damn slow. I think that's why it is not. No.
But Ranjit, your voice very much clear actually.
I'm not sure what is happening actually. It should work perfectly.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to then recheck this one. Okay, fine. So today
Okay.
we'll just work on this local laptop. Okay, no worries. Anyways,
Okay.
maybe there are some issues with the server. It is not reaching. Okay. So let me do that.
Ranjit, 1 second, Ranjit. Can you please log out and log in from your AWS account and try Ranjit? Because I faced these sort of issues because when I tried to connect with IPv4, it is not connecting. But once I log out and log in the server, it is connecting, sir, Ranjit.
I will,
Please give a try for this one time.
no, that's okay. I'll do that. But how it will be like if I stop? Okay, let me do that. Because I already have restarted the server, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
No, if I log in account doesn't matter, right? Account.
I don't know, like it was working sometime before for me. That is why I'm asking you.
No, this so we'll not waste time. Let's do in our local.
No, Ranjit, no issue because anyway, it's a one kind of a debug actually. If some issue will get, na, so how we can do also means what are the approaches you need to follow.
Yeah, yeah. No, this is
It's a learning curve actually.
too fast. System logs. Anyway, it is fast everything, right? System log is not required. Okay, let it do that. So let it again. Let's start. I think there is some space issue. Could be right.
You check the security group, Ranjit, so that if you given access to the 8080 board server or not.
Last month it was working, right? So security should be there.
We are last time working, yeah. It should be there actually.
Okay. This is 33%, right? Still 30 GB
33, yeah.
is used. 9 GB is available. That's fine.
23.
It is okay, right? This one.
Yeah, 23, yeah.
No.
I think Jenkins today in weekend mode in server.
Oh, I'm stupid here. Yeah, this Jenkins is actually not what. This is different account. I should log into this account.
Great, great.
And still that there is a Jenkins installed, I think, because it is see Jenkins is started and everything, right? And it says Jenkins is running.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Great, man. So I have
Uh,
actually Jenkins running in this my account. So I have logged in different account. That is, I if you have multiple accounts, that's the problem. Now I understand why.
okay.
Okay. So we wasted lots of time now. That is because that why did not work. That is installed not properly installed. Might be some something Java is not installed. Something that is there. So yeah, why I had stopped it. Okay. So okay, so last class I had shown you, right, how to set up. Okay, can anybody of you tell how to set up the tools in Jenkins? What is the flow? How, where I have to go to set up the tools in Jenkins?
Uh, in manage Jenkins, you need to go system configuration. There you need to configure the systems, whatever the plugins and all those things you know needed. Everything we can set up through
My
system
question
configuration itself.
how to set up the tools, not all other configurations.
In plugin?
No. So we have to set up in the global tool configuration. Right? The tools, the see configure tools, the tools should be configured in global tool configuration. So whatever the plugins you are going to install or add, you can get it in the manage plugins. Okay, and system configurations you have to do in configure systems. So whatever the things you are going
Mhm.
to do in the tool setups, whatever the tool you are going to use in your project through Jenkins, you have to set up in the global tool configurations. Okay, so if you click this global tool configuration, last class I had shown you, right, to install this Maven and all these things, right? So today I'll show you all these details. Just let me get it. It has not the public. Okay, so if you go to this global tool configurations, right, if you see here I have installed Git, whatever the, so here what happens, I have set up the tools which I'm going to use for the project, right? So JDK Java must be there to build any kind of Java project. So which kind of JDK you are going to use? So this so don't get confused with this home path and all. This is how the Java path in my um, Mac system. Okay, in my Mac system. But in Linux and Windows, it will be totally different. Windows will be C drive and program files, then Java, then JDK 1.8 something, then your directory, right? That you have to set up in your Windows machines. I'll show you all this in Windows also. Don't worry and don't get confused. Okay, and here the Git should be where the Git is installed in the server. The Git should be the tool setup should be done here. Okay, and Gradle is the tool for Java build, right? For Java project build, you are going to use Gradle, and for MS build, everyone knows Microsoft build, that will be for .NET projects. Okay, Ant is for Java build again, but it is outdated. So now people are using Maven. Okay, Ant and Maven, these are the Java related build. So for Maven also, you have to set up this Maven kind of thing, right? Where the Maven is installed. So today I'll show you all these installations and setup again. Okay, this is my local machine. So let me just get it the something happening today, I think. Okay, get this IP address. Okay, it should work now. Okay, so this is actually the Jenkins page. That the Jenkins was not installed properly. Okay, now what are we going to do now? So let me just try to install and set up the. So last class what we had done, we had just simply created one small suppose my first weekend batch job. Okay, that is the job which we had created first time. So you know how to create a freestyle job. Today again we'll just do a small Java project. Also you see, this is just starting. I have done so far, I have covered only 10%, guys. There are a lot more things to know, lot more things to know, so be patient on this. So okay, here what I'm going to do, I'm going to set off the configurations. Okay, so what is this Jenkins server? Jenkins server is the server where Jenkins is installed. Okay, Jenkins server where the Jenkins is installed. I'm going to install all this Git, Maven, and all these things in the local in the server where the Jenkins is installed. Okay, so let me log into that server. So it should be okay. So what we need first, okay, to build a Java project. Okay, first thing, you have to get all the information from the developer, right? What kind of project it is? It is a Java project, and you they'll give you a specifications or a documentation, right, where what sort of tools used to build that project. And they will say like we are using Git repository to store the Java codes, source codes to be stored in the Git repository. So they will provide you the Git repository link, the URL. Okay, and what else? They'll just tell you what are the tools being used to build the tools. So they will provide you the form.xml for Java related files to build the project, where all the dependencies will be there. Okay, as we are going to learn Maven. Okay, Maven is a Java build tool. So I'll show you how the Maven build lifecycle works. Okay, and then what else required? So they'll give you the details about Maven. So what commands and what are the things they use to build the project. Based on that, you have to set up in your machine. Okay, now, so I'm going to suppose to build this file Java project. Okay, so first of all, they will provide you the Git repository link where their project code is available, and how you will know which tool and what versions of tool they are using. If you go to this form.xml file, remember this is related to Java project only. Okay, for .NET it has a different setting files. Okay, for form.xml, so you'll just use this file and it will have all these informations, properties and settings, everything will be there. Okay, for which versions of Maven they are using, see Maven XR 2.3 or something, and it will have the J, suppose for unit testing what ID there or what plugins or what tool they are using and which versions of JUnit they are using. So everything you will find it over. See, JUnit 4.0 version they are using to build the project. So you have to get all these informations from this form.xml file. Also, they'll have a specifications where they'll mention all the details about the project and how to build that. So once you get all these informations, what you have to do, you have to just come here. Suppose it is a Java project, and see this configurations. These configurations will be one time only, but the job creations only based on the project and the requirement you have to create and modify. But the tool configurations will be one time, and if there is any modifications required, then you have to do the latter. But that will be the administrative part, which will be doing the DevOps administrator. Okay, so if you see in this machine, okay, in this server, I have installed the Java should be installed prior to Jenkins. It is by default will be there. So you can see here local underscore JDK, and this is the Java home. Last class I showed you. Again, I have installed Git on this machine. So I have given as local underscore Git. So guys, I have a documentation. So I'll share this documentation with you. How to install Maven, how to install Git and everything. Install Java, okay. Install Jenkins, everything there. And install Git. It is very simple in Windows. I already have shown you in the Git class, right? So you can install the Git and the Maven. What we are going to do? We are just simply downloading the Maven by using the duplicate command and then renaming it to the Maven folder. Okay, so let me show you. In this server I have already downloaded and kept in cd opt folder. If I go this folder, see, I have this Maven downloaded. So it is a downloadable project because it is again Maven also is a Java project. That's a Java tool. Okay, it's a Java build tool. Now, if I go to this Maven, you'll find all the required details, bin, folder, boot, everything will be there. So we don't need all these details. So we need only the Maven to be installed, and it should be OPT under OPT or Maven. You can keep it anywhere, but you have to pass the path like this. In the global tool configurations, you will see one Maven will be again a question for you. How you will get this Maven informations or Maven tool informations in this global tool configuration page? Last class I showed you everything, right? Remember last class I showed you how to get all these details, UI details here. I showed you one example of MS build, if you remember.
Console, you have to go.
So Ranjit, in plugins, we need to go and we can check for the path actually. Is that correct?
No, not for the path. So it is simple, guys. We have to install the plugin. The required plugins is required to be installed. So if I go here, manage Jenkins, okay, and go to manage plugins. So if we don't find anything, so if I see installed, you'll see Maven will be installed in this server, right? Maven. JUnit also installed. See Maven integrations. So Maven integration is already installed. So if I remove this Maven integrations, you will not get this page. You will not get this option here. Okay, so if you
Correct.
see Maven is not there, so what you have to do, go to plot. It is simple. That's it. See guy, whatever I'm telling is entirely real time. Okay, so if you find something, if you want something, and if you don't see here in the global tool configuration, simply you have to go here, search for the that particular plugin and install it. So plugin is nothing but a piece of program, a piece of software, right? So that software will provide you Jenkins UI and the configurations details. So you have to set up the configurations to that plugin only. Okay, so what this plugin does, in this case, what it does, it just creates an alias name, the name of the tool we are giving in the Jenkins, that is local underscore Maven. And this local underscore Maven will be used in your entire project. In your entire project, we are going to use this name only. When you use this name, Jenkins will find that particular path here. Maven underscore home, that is the path which is set up here, that is /opt Maven. That is what I showed you here in my opt folder, that is the Maven folder. Okay.
Ranjit, one one thing here, Maven also one of the type of repository.
No. Maven is a build tool. See, Ant, Maven, and Gradle, these are the build tools.
Okay.
These are
But
the
Jenkins also you can able to build, na?
Jenkins cannot build itself, right? It requires a plugin, it requires a tool. So Jenkins,
Yeah.
don't get confused, like Jenkins is a build tool. It is a build tool, but it requires the third party software to build it. So
Okay.
for Java, we need Maven. For .NET, we need MS Build. That tool should be there to install. So don't treat Jenkins as a single build tool. No, it's a configuration CI integration tool. So we are integrating all the tools inside the Jenkins as a plugin, and then we are using that one. Okay. So
Got it.
Okay, so for any Java project,
okay.
we need to install Maven, correct?
Yes, Maven or Gradle or Ant. So based on your
Okay.
requirement, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So for any as you said, .NET or some other thing, we need to use
Go for the respective tool.
MS.
For .NET MS
Yes.
Build,
Yes.
yes. For
MS
Python,
build and
there
other
will be
things.
some Python program will be there, right? For building. For PHP, it will be different.
Yeah.
For other languages, for C, there will be some make to do that. Okay, C++ and all, right? So that you have to use based on that.
Okay, so where we can get the information as Java we got some idea Maven and .NET we got some idea MS build
Okay.
and any
So
team is going to help or we have to check with the development team or
exactly. So you have to check with the development team because development team is the person who are using that particular, who are coding that and using to build it there in their dev server, right? So they can tell you which build tool they use to build their project. Based on that, you have to do the setup. That's why in the beginning, I told you, without
yeah.
development help, you cannot work. You cannot do the setups because you will not have all the information. See how the automations. Okay, this is something related to automations. Okay, how an automation engineer will do the automations. What basic things is required for an automation engineer to do the automation?
Code and build.
No. I what?
It's the information. So what are the tools? All these informations.
No, not about tools.
Like
Not about tools. Not about the tools. I'm just telling. Just think at an automation engineer. Think in a different, not in DevOps perspective. You think in this normal automation engineer. Um, uh,
first we need to check what type of project maybe in the .NET project or Java project or Python project. So once we understand the project, then we can move further. What are the specific tools? I mean to say for Java, Maven and Gradle or other thing. So that way we need to
no, that is
check with the development team.
that is the
It is simple. What tags needed that need to be repetitive? What is the available tool that is available to do it? If some repetitive task, what the technology available at that time to do it?
okay. And the first basic thing is the
So,
first. I told you the first basic thing. This is the letter.
yeah, Ranjit, one thing,
Yes.
Ranjit, one thing I just want to clarify. Actually, for that Jenkins basically is a continuous integration, right? So when that coding is will happen, that will be go to the GitHub. Once it will be done, so in the Jenkins we have to be make it like a build, testing, and the deploy part. These things will be configured in the continuous integration that is in Jenkins, so that it will be once the coding or everything will come from GitHub to then come to Jenkins. Then it will be checked in the build in the Maven. It will be checked in the
bull part, and then next is comes to again to Jenkins. Again, it will be go to the testing part. So everything will be automated in the Jenkins. Due to this one, we have to be plugging each and every tools inside the Jenkins, right?
Yes. So that tools, every tools and every plugins we have to see, every plugins you have to install in the Jenkins, the required plugins, and the required tools and the required softwares will be installed on the respective server. So I'll show you when we'll do the project. I'll show you, okay, in the master and slave setups. I'll show you everything. So on this, how to do the setup. So my okay, so Ranjit, so we'll all this okay. So once we do this project, right? Once we do the master and slave setups, and once you do one end-to-end project, I think you will understand more details. So here my question is, basic question is, what basic thing is required for an automation engineer to do the automate the project, to automate the task? Simple
Basic
thing to
platform.
automate.
For example, if we want to be do any automation in Unix, then that should be installed. That should be support. So what are the things coding we have to be right?
Okay, that is system configurations. Okay, so I would at least expect from you, see, guys,
Business logic you are asking, Ranjit, business logic.
that is definitely business logic will be created by the automation engineer. So the logic, whatever
Yeah,
logic,
if the task can be repetitive, then follow the steps that has been done for once and automate the steps
okay,
through code.
that's one kind of, that is little bit closer. Okay, so the first and basic thing is the manual procedure. The manual procedure, what you do to perform the task, how you perform the task, what is the manual procedure. So you, once you get the manual procedure, then you can take that manual procedure and then automate. For manual, how manually you are doing it, you are going to a path, then going to that particular folder, then executing the tool, and then executing that command to get the other tools to be integrated here. So all this manual procedure, that's called manual procedure document, is should be there with you to do the automation. Then what are the business logic, what are the system configuration, whatever the things is required, then you have to do later. The first thing, you should have a copy of the manual procedure. If you don't know how this guy is manually doing the task, then how you will automate it? You will not automate that, right? Similarly, in DevOps also, whenever you are going to do integration, you should know how the developer doing that same kind of build manually in that system, what sort of tools they are using, what sort of configurations they are using, then get those informations from them, then do the setups. Is it clear, guys? The the four most
Yeah.
basic thing is required: the manual procedure, what a person is doing, the task, manual task. That manual task will take it and do the automations. That is what we need, right? Okay, so let's do that. Okay, now what happens? I just install the Maven. Okay, guys, I'm not just installing, everything is installed on my machine. So I'll just share this document with you. So it's very simple. Just install Maven. What you have to do, just go to any OPT folder or any folder. It's up to you however you keep it, and just download the jar file, tar file, Apache Maven, what version if you want. You can specify the versions, you have to download it, or you can go to the Apache for Apache site, and there you can just install whatever the versions of Maven is required. Then after that, what happens, I'm just untearing it and then doing the renaming that to Apache 3.39 to Maven. Once it is done, and here some setup. See, home directories, that is m2 underscore home, path that just in Java home, and path, these all things are actually getting stored here. You have to set up these environment variables. Okay, you have to set up this environment to make sure that your Maven and this Jenkins and all other setups or other tools which is related to Java is working perfectly. Okay, what I have done here, I have created some small script, suppose called etc profile D. So what is this profile D, guys? Everyone should know. etc and dot profile d. So this is a daemon file, right? When you restart your machine, this profile d will be automatically executed, and whatever there in this profile d directory, that will be executed once you reboot the system. So what happened here, I have just kept it. If I go to this system, right, cd etc in this folder, okay, what was that folder name? Profile d, right? cd profile.d, and here if you see I have created one maven.sh. Similarly you can create it, or you can, why I'm creating it, because whenever, see, this will have all the, see, I have just created maven.sh here. I have kept this m2 home as opt mav. This is m2 the maven path, home path. You have to give us m2 underscore home opt maven, and this is the path, normal path, every path you have to set up, with new path you are giving, you have to set up like this. And then java home, the java home also I have added here. So I'm giving the exact details how you have to set up in your machine. Okay, now once you do that, what you have to do, it everything will work fine. So the next step is, once you install maven on your machine, on your server, then you have to set up the maven path here. And then in the git also, once you install the git, you have to just give git, no path, nothing, only you have to give git, then it will work. And you have to remember this local underscore name is required when you do the automations. Okay, so that's all for now. maven and everything we did set up. Okay, and this ansible docker will later will learn it, and ms build also will, I'll show you how we can do that. Okay, now you did all this global tool configuration setup. Okay, I'm going to build a small java project now. So what I'm going to do, go and create, go to new item, and here just create okay, something like that. And I'm just creating freestyle. Still I'm creating freestyle. So pipeline I have not covered. So we'll have another classes or some classes to cover the pipeline. Okay, don't worry. So just click on OK. Okay. Now I just give any descriptions here. Okay, so limit all these details is not required now. So this is last project. What I showed you the none, I had given none. That means I'm not going to use any source code management. But now what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the source code management here. Okay, so git, I'm going to use git. So once you click this git, it will give you the repository URL. So which project you are going to automate, that you have to get the information from the developer. So the developer will share this link to you. Suppose this is the project I'm going to build, so he will give this URL. This URL he will give you, right? Then you have to set up this URL here. This is the URL I'm going to build it. Okay, and then see, as it is a public repository, it is not required for any credentials. So guys, I'm giving you from 0 to 100%. I'm delivering everything, and each steps I'm just clearly telling you. Do remember, do practice. Okay, or else you'll forget. Okay, I'm clearly telling you, because
Correct.
everything, whatever I have learned,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have experienced, everything I'm sharing with you. Make sure you do practice, or else you'll forget. Guarantee you'll forget. Okay. Now,
Ranjit, one thing is,
yeah.
every time you have to give the your repository URL, or because we have already created one repository URL, that's already there. The developer will be always push or something like that to the repository. Same URL will be give here only. No?
Exactly, same URL. Suppose you have created a job or project. for that particular project build, then that particular URL will be always set up there. So we don't have to change it, because that always,
because once you set up here, every time it will be usable. That's what I'm asking.
yeah, every time. See, so again, don't get confused. Suppose the developer is working on this project only. DevOps Web is a project name. So the guys is an application name where your developers working. So they shared with their URL where they have kept all the source code. So until unless the project is successfully built all the time on whatever this project is set up, you have to keep this name. Suppose tomorrow your developer has given another application URL, another project URL. So what you have to do, you have to go ahead and create another job. You don't have to modify the existing job. You have to create another job and give that new URL there. I'll show you again. When we'll do another project, I'll show you that also. Okay. So here, what happens? As I told, it is so. Sibram, you are asking, right? Or
Yeah, I'm only asking that
okay.
because I creating that multiple jobs in Jenkins. That's one.
Yeah. So you are clear now, right?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah. So every time you'll get new project to work, you have to create a new job. You don't have to modify and change the URL of the existing job, because sometimes when you need it again, then you have to again, you'll be in trouble, right? So you have to create new job for
Yeah.
each project. You have to create different jobs. Okay. So here I'm just
Because we have different branches, Ranjit, in our project. 5 to 6 branches are there. 5 repositories are there. We configure once only and we use it for our Jenkins build.
Yes, that I'll show you. That is, we have that multi-branch pipeline, right? That I'll show you how we can we use that multi-branch pipeline to build the multiple branches. Okay, I'll show you. So got more time to go. Okay. So now the things is here. So when I give the public repository, it does not require any credentials. So officially it will not be public, right? Everything will be private only. Everything will be private. So what needs to be done? Then how the credentials will be set up? Suppose if it is a private, then how we'll set up this? So let me change this as a private repository. Okay. So how I'll change this repository as a private? It is now public. So I have to go to the settings. Okay. And go to manage accesses. Okay, so it will ask the password. I remember or not. Oh no, I forgot. Oh, okay. So here, if you see, I have this access as a public repository. Okay, now I'm going to change it to private. Danger. This is danger zone. What happened? Okay, change repository visibility. Go here and make private. Okay. So what happens here, if you make private, what they're saying, you are going to permanently lose the stats and watchers of this repository, all pages published from these repositories, because I'm going to make it as private, right? So let me confirm it. So we have to just copy this page details and do it. I understand the change repository visibility. Just change it. Okay, now this repository has become private. DevOps Web has become now private. Okay, so if I go here and just simply remove this, okay, and just put repository again, see, now it is trying to connect. It is trying to connect the repository. As it is private, it is asking for the user ID and password for authentication. Okay, so how you have to add user ID and password for this? You have to just, you can see here add button, right? Just go here, click on Jenkins. You can give the username of your GitHub account, okay, and the password of your GitHub password. Once you do that, okay, you can click on add, just username and password, then add it. Okay, so I have already added. So you can see here the credentials. If you click it here, you'll get the credentials. So I have these credentials for GitHub account. So let me, okay. So why it is failed? Because this was set up long back, and the password of this has changed. So that is why it is failing. Now what I have to do, I have to change this. So this is how real time you are seeing how to change the password and modify it, right? So where you have to do, let me go to the, so guys, where I have to change this, manage Jenkins. Okay, so these things you have to do. See, manage credentials, right? Click on this manage credentials. I have 3 credentials here created, right? All these, okay, 1 2 1 2 3. So now I have, you can see here option is coming. Now I can just update, or you can delete or move, whatever you can do. Last time also I showed you all these, right? So just update this password. Now I'm just going to change password. Okay, so it is now added. So if I go and refresh this, let me just remove this again and paste it. Okay, so first time it will fail. Okay, now let me add this. So it will just try to connect the server. Okay, it's taking some time. What happened? I gave a wrong password or what? Okay, all the changes whatever I did, it's gone now. Let's do it from the beginning. Repositories, GitHub. Whatever it says, like, so we have to provide the token. Okay, instead of password we have to provide the token, right? So where I have kept the token, so here what I did, I just provided the password, but we have to just provide the token here. Change password, right? We have to provide token here. Now I'm just stopping my screen. Okay, I'll get the token and add it here. I have saved it somewhere. 1 second. Let me just go to the path where I have stored the token. So guys, last class I told you how to, in GitHub classes I showed you how to generate the token, right? We remember this token creation also required, and you save the token safely somewhere so that you can use that. Okay, hopefully I should have saved somewhere.
So Ranjit, if you are recording, na, so your screen also you will share this video, na, so we can see also, no?
You can see my screen
So
now?
then we need to. No, we cannot see because we did not share.
No. Until I share it, share my screen, it will not be recorded. You'll get the blank page. You will see the black page there, and only voice you'll see.
Oh, okay, then good. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What happened here? I don't remember where I have saved it. It actually the token. Yeah, I got it. Okay, I got the. Okay, so now let me share my screen. So I got the token here and put it here and save it. I added my token now. So if I go to this project, okay, and just wait for some time, it will just able to do that connectivity. Okay, as it is asking for this token, just wait for a few seconds, or we can just add none and then change this. See, now it is connected successfully. This is the private repository.
Yeah.
And in your company, you always obviously enterprise URL you will get it, and that should be always password protected, right? You have to provide the credentials. That's the real time you have to do it. Okay. So once you provide the credentials, it will connect to the repositories. That's all. And then which branch you want to build, whether you want to build the master branch or build any separate branches. So if you go to this project have multiple branches, right? Feature arcase, feature 1.1 on all this. Suppose you want to build this feature arcase, so you have to specify which branch you want to build it here. Okay, now suppose I'm going to build the master branch. So the branch is done here. So this is the source code management part. Now comes the build trigger. So how you want to build the triggers, manually or by using the PollSCM. So for now, I'll just build manually, and the next build I'll show you the other topics. Okay. Now the next is the build environment. So what is the build environment you want to know? We delete workflows before starts and all these things I have already told you. So this is not required in this project too. So there are few details will be there which will be not required. Don't worry, that doesn't mean that whatever is given in the tool you have to use it. No, based on your project you have to use that. Okay. Now the next section is build. This is what required. We have to build this project, right? As a Java project, we have to build it. Now you have to use what? See, there are lots of options. Again, these options also will come based on the plugins you install in the Jenkins. What are the options you are getting it here, right? Based on the plugins, it will be available. I have Ansible plugins installed, so I can get this Ansible details. I have Maven, I have Gradle installed, so I have Gradle there. I have Ant plugins there, so I got this Ant, right? Then I have Maven, so I can use this invoke top level Maven target. Invoke top level Maven target. Remember this, you have to select it. Then this Maven version, which will get it, and from where we'll get it, this one. So we can get it this local Maven. So where this Maven came, guys, this local Maven we had set up in the global tool configuration, right? So this is the tool we are going to use to build it. Now local Maven, I selected local underscore Maven here. That is the tool we are going to use. So there are few commands for the Maven. So let me show you this Maven commands. Okay, I have this Maven. I had shared, I think, with you guys, Maven life cycle, right? So there is one page called, I'll just ping you this page, Apache Maven project. This is Apache, because this Maven tool is Apache's tool. Okay. So let me just ping you this one, and you can use this one too. Keep it handy, and you will get questions in this Maven life cycle. Okay. Build life cycle, normal build life cycle. Okay. So this build cycle, if you do, yes, please.
Yeah, one thing, the difference between Marvin and Gradle, what is the basic difference? Why people are using more Marvin than Gradle?
Now see, the difference actually, basic difference is like, see, every tool has different features, different functionality, right? Suppose you, if you see, see, I have not used Gradle. So see, if you see, Gradle will have different functionality where you can suppose that particular functionality is required for your project and your company is using that one. then you can go for Gradle. And Gradle actually is having the same set of commands for Maven. Whatever the Maven has is having the same set of commands also Gradle is having. Very few commands that you are going to use, but that will have a different feature and different build mechanism. It's up to your project requirement and which project requirement will have which kind of, suppose your company and your project, suppose your whatever you are building is, suppose you are building with the tool Maven, and suppose tomorrow you find like these particular things is not happening properly, then if you find that things can be done and achieved through Gradle, then you will get install the Gradle and build your project, right? So that are, and
It,
yeah.
it depend on the building mechanism, or how it is secure, or something like that, or how it is performance type or something like that, or
It's not performance, it's not about anything, it's the building requirement. How you, what's your project build requirement that is required, based on that you have to select again. So here we are learning, suppose today Maven, your company will be using Gradle, right? Your company will be using, suppose, Gradle. So what will happen? The building mechanism will be same. Whatever tool you use, the core functionality is to build, right? Core functionality is to build. For building, suppose Maven is using some sort of technology, and that technology is written some program, either Java or Python or whatever it is. But Gradle will be have written in some other languages, and it will have some other functionality which will build your code. It's entirely based on the project requirement, okay, and what your development using. If development you're using Gradle, then you have to go for Gradle only to build it. If your development person using Maven, then you have to go for Maven. Okay. Yeah. So what this build life cycle is equal for everything. Okay. This build life cycle will be equal for everything. So here what happens, the build cycle life cycle, okay, you'll get a question, what is the phases of the build life cycle. The phases is validate, compile, test, package, verify, install, and deploy. This is very simple. These are the very simple commands actually there. Okay. What you'll get it, what is this validation done? Validate the project is correct and all necessary information is available. First, when you build a project, it will validate the necessary informations and necessary configurations is done for the project to build. It will first validate it and then compile the source code of the project. It does the compilation, then test the compiled source code using the suitable unit testing framework. Then testing, when you talk about testing, it will do the unit testing whether the code compatibility is there, whatever the code is written for the project, the source code is correct or not. Again, this unit testing, you can use what sort of tool for unit testing. You'll get it from the form.xml, whatever I showed you, right? You can get it there. Then, and this unit testing will be set up in your form.xml. You don't have to set up in your Jenkins. Remember, this unit testing tools will be there in your form.xml. Now the packaging, after compile, what you want to do, what kind of format, like if you are building a small desktop application, it will be a jar dot. If you're a Java file, it will be dot jar. If it is a web-based application, then it will be var. If it is a .NET application, it will be dot ear, right? If it's some or dot exe, or if any kind of C++ or dot exe, Python, some dot py, some dot dll, dot whatever things, it will be generated. The binary, once you package it, it will be the binary format, right? Then verify, run the checks, results, integration, test on this thing, then install the package into the local repositories, deploy the build environment. All this is the steps we are going to now. Now, this is the commands. Whatever the link I said, you can find, these are the usual commands. You have to use mbn verify, mbn clean deploy. When you are going to use in the pipeline, I will show you. These are the commands you're going to use in your pipeline automations. Okay, so you have to remember all these commands and all. Phase and this, just go through this. Okay, and here also how to use these plugins in the how to use this plugin in the pom.xml. They have given the example. So developer, this is the developers has to take all this information and they will add into the pom.xml. Okay, they'll add in the pom.xml. And this is the life cycle, again clean life cycle and default life cycle, validate, all these details are available. See, just go through these guys and some and gain some knowledge. Okay, all this information on the build. So again, this is just to gain extra knowledge, because this is not required as you are not a developer, right? You are just going to set up, but you should at least know what developer is doing. That's why I'm giving you all these informations to you. Now what I'm going to do here, what is the goal? I want to do that. So here I have to suppose going to do clean install. Goal is to clean install. What it do, it will just clean it. If you go here, I have used clean command, and then I have used install command. Install the package in the local repository. I just clean. What the clean will do, removes all files generated by the previous build. So I'll just clean it everything and then package it. Okay, clean install. So, and that's what we did it. Now what you have to do, the post build action I'll show you again in the next one. So I'll just save it. So now everything is done, our project setup is done. Suppose guys, if I want to modify something this project, so what should I do now? If I want to modify this project, what should I do? Where should I go to modify this?
Configure.
Yes, so go to configure and try to modify. These things should be always, you should be do your hand practice, right? Should always, if you are doing something, go to the configure to build it. Immediately use the mouse should be so smooth to moving here. Then how it will come? By doing practice only. Okay. Now let's build it. Okay. Now I'm going to build it. Manually I build. Okay. So my build has started. If I want to see the console output, I can see the logs here. Okay, building has started and it is doing all kind of compilations. Okay, good. So the build is success now, and it has created one directory. Okay, now what I did in this project, and where this will be, the war file, whatever it will be stored, you can find it in which locations. You can find it in our, either you can find in your workspace, right? Always you'll find in Jenkins workspace. Okay, all these informations will be available in Jenkins workspace. So where the Jenkins workspace will be there, you can find here in Jenkins itself. You can find one workspace, right? Click it here and you'll find all these informations. So how the Jenkins works, try to understand first. When you create the project, what it will do, based on your configuration setup, right? It will check out, the repository first to the workspace. It will check out the repository to the workspace. Okay, suppose if I go to the workspace here, let me go to the workspace. So where can I get these workspace details? Go to the console output. You can find it out the workspace. See, building on master in the workspace. This is the workspace, Jenkins workspace. Get this command. Sorry. So this is our Jenkins workspace. Var leave Jenkins workspace. If I go here, I'll see lots of jobs. Whatever job is created here, right? See, whatever job is there, all this you will find it here. So now our job is called first Java project weekend batch, right? So let's go to this. So first what happened, Jenkins create a project under this workspace and check out all the repository details. See, these all are available in my repositories. If you go my repositories here, I'll find See this Docker file, Jenkins file, Docker local remote, pom.xml, source, all these will be available. See, source, pom.xml, Docker file, Jenkins, all these available here. And once it builds everything, these things are not required because this is, I'll just tell you in the later classes. We'll just see all this source, whatever there in this source, it will just build this one. And this pom.xml, after it install, if you do, it will package and create the jar file. So where the jar file will be there, this jar and war file will be generated in the target folder. So as this is a web application, web applications, it will create one war file, .war file. Okay, now just go to the target folder, and here you will see DevOps web.war. This is the final product. This binary file we have to deploy into our server. I'll show you that today also. Okay, now what we did, let me configure again to these jobs. Now let's go to the first, okay, first Java project here. What I'm going to do here, click it, go and configure. Let me do a lot more things here and show you what we can do more on this. Okay, now here what I did, I just did build. After build, suppose I want to archive the artifacts. In the post build sections, I can just go here. You can see one option called archive the artifacts. Archive the artifacts. What does this means? Means it is I'm going to archive the artifacts. Just go here, and how to use, you can either you can zip it or whatever you want to do that. Okay, but I don't want to archive like this, so let me just do simple ways. If star star slash star dot war file. So what it is doing actually, it is just moving one folder behind and then giving slash star dot var. So in this folder, if you go to this workspace, right, in this folder it will come and just archive this DevOps star.var folder. Okay, so let me just go to that and save it and rerun this project. Build now. So it is now building it. So I can see the console output. So building the var, and you can see here. So archive artifacts also success here. Now if I go here and see the workspace, and here you can see last successful artifacts, which is archived. I archived this DevOps web.var. I can see it here also. Okay, now I just did this one. Now let me show you whatever we have done so far. I just manually click this build button. Now let me show you how automatically it will work. Okay, now for that what we need to learn first, go to configure, and in this build trigger that I have not done so far, in this build trigger, how you want to build your project, that's again your requirement. How you want to, that's up to you, how you want to, up to your project, you want to build it, right? What you have to do now, there are, I'll show you these 2-3 options, how you want to do that. I can show you this PollSCM first, and then I'll show you this hook trigger. Okay, this PollSCM, if I select it here, so this is nothing but your con schedule in Unix and self-scripting. If you know, this is nothing but your con job scheduling. How frequently you want this project to be built, how frequently you want this project to be built. Okay, now if you don't know how to do that, just click on this button and you'll see all the con job details available here, how you have to set up the jobs. See, if you want to run this job every 15 minutes, then you have to write like this. If you want to every 10 minutes, so you guys who are working already in the con and Unix shell scripting, they know it very well and clear. So you can get it there. Again, it has the time zone specific, everything it is given here, guys. You don't have to bother about that. Okay, all documentation they have, sorry, they have given it here. So for the time being, as we cannot wait for 5 minutes or 10 minutes or anything, so I am just going to give every 1 minute. Okay, so minimum is 1 minute. We cannot reduce to seconds. Remember, cron jobs will minimum is 1 minute. Okay, now I'm going to give star 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 star. 5 stars I gave with you. That means all day, every week, every month, every day, okay, every hour, every 1 minute it will execute. So 5 star means, if you see here what I gave it here, the first one is minute, first star is minute, second star is hour, third star is date of month, first fourth is month, then sorry, day of month, that is the hour, day, month and week. The last one is the week. That means every minute it should work. Okay, now it is clear. I'm not going to spend more time on this. So all here, so you appear to be missing star. Okay, so I have to give space here. Okay, so I got the space here. Okay, so
Ranjit, that ignore post commit hook means what is that?
ignore post commit hook. Also, so post commit, there is a post commit hook will be there, right? Once you commit, right, it will be automatically triggered. So I don't want to, once it is commit it will be triggered, that you can just ignore that part.
Okay.
Okay, the rest I'll show you.
Okay.
Let me just go through first PollSCM and then the rest I'll show you. So PollSCM is that it says, do you really want every minute to run? Yes, I want. Now I save it. So what will happen now? Jenkins job will scan every minute. So what it will scan? It will scan the repository. What it will scan? It will scan the repository for any changes. If it finds any changes in the repository, then what it will do? It will trigger the build. So you can see here we have only 1 and 2. Only 2 builds are done so far. Okay. Now what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some changes in the repository directly. I'm not going to use Git in the locally. Directly I'm going to use some here. Okay. Now what happens here? Suppose let me modify something to this source code. This is my master. I'm going to the source code. Okay. In this web app, I'm going to suppose modify something in this hello.html. Okay. Not this one. Let me modify this index.template.html. Okay, suppose so Asif bhai, see just whatever I'm doing, right, Asif ji, just see that is what you are.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah. So what you can do in your project, let me do it again. So in your project, go to your source folder. Okay, and go to web apps. If you want to change it your name, just go to template, and here you can do all changes whatever you need it. You can give your name or versions, everything. Suppose now I'm going to change the version. Is suppose this is given 5th August. Let me give it as today is 30th October, right? So I'll just give 30th. Oh shit. Okay, without editing, I just, okay, so what you have to do, you have to edit it first. Okay, just edit it, and I just give 30th October 2021. Okay, and this is not a pipeline demo, this is just freestyle demo. Okay, save it. Let me save this one, and you can give comment whatever is required and commit the changes. I did the commit of, I committed the changes now. So what will happen? There is a change is done in my repository. There is a change in my source code. Okay. So what will happen now? If I go to this sorry, if I go to the project, you'll see in 1 minute interval, it will automatically one build will start, because our cron job every minute will scan the repository. If it finds any changes, to the repository, it will start building that one. Okay, again, Sibram was asking me to this ignore commit thing, right? Now see, what happens here, where this build trigger, right? So you can see here, trigger builds remotely. If you want to build from a script, suppose you have written a script, and if you want to build from that script, you can do that. And how you have to do, click on this and give the authentication token and the path where your script is there, then it will take and build it. Okay, and then what happens, you can build after other projects are built. I'll show you all these options, don't worry. Build periodically. Suppose if you want to schedule, again it is a cron job periodically, you can set it up here. GitHub branches, if you want to, if you see what branches you want to build based on the branches, you can give it here. And ignore post commit hooks, whatever I told, if you want to ignore after post commit hooks not to be triggered, then you can just ignore it. And this PollSCM is to build it on. And this GitHub hook is, I'm going to show you, this is for Webhook. This is very important, and you'll get questions from this Webhook and PollSCM mostly. PollSCM and Webhook. Okay, now let's see and check whether this project has built or not. See, automatically build number 3 has generated. We did not do anything. We simply updated our source code. So developers just updated the source code, and automatically it has started triggering a build in 1 minute. So it has automatically triggered the build. If you see here, the same thing has build and success. Now you understood the PollSCM, right? Now you understood how to set up the PollSCM. That means poll source code management. So it will be polling every minute based on the schedule you have done. Based on the schedules you have done, it will automatically poll the repository source code management. And if it finds any changes done, then it will build the project. If there is nothing changes, no changes haven't happened, then it will not build. No, it will not build. Okay, now let me show you other options. Another option is, suppose GitHub would trigger. Select it. It will not, you don't have to do all setups here. So where you have to do the setups, you have to set up in the GitHub. Now this setup is required to be done GitHub. So what will happen here, if we do Webhook setups in the GitHub, what will happen, if any changes is done in the GitHub will trigger an event. GitHub will trigger an event. That here what happened, Jenkins was triggering the event. Here the Jenkins is triggering the event. What it is doing, it is just scanning the repositories and finds any changes, building it. But the in in GitHub Webhook, what will happen, the GitHub, actually this is one of the API. Webhook is an API which will trigger the events. Any modifications, any changes happen, it will trigger the event. Okay, so how you'll do that Webhook setup in GitHub, just go to the settings. Okay, now you can see one Webhook. Go to the settings of this project, go to the Webhooks. Okay, click on this Webhooks, and here you have to set up the Webhook details. Okay, now just edit it. Okay, leave it. So as it is there, I just edited it. Or what you can do, you can just add Webhook here. Click on this, add Webhook. Once you click on this, you'll get a page like this. Okay, so this payload URL. So once you select this GitHub Webhook triggers, right? That does not mean that Webhook will be automatically triggered from the GitHub. For that, you have to set up the Jenkins URL on the Webhook space. Okay, so what you have to do? We need the IP address or host name of the Jenkins server. Okay, so what is the IP address? So this is, let me just copy this. This is the Jenkins server, right? So Jenkins server IP or DNS, you have to put it here. So I put it here, and after that, what you have to write? You have to just do GitHub hyphen webhook. Okay, GitHub hyphen webhook, and the content type either application, because the content type means the logs and the contents, whatever the content types, it will just give you applications. And which event do you want to trigger? Which event do you want to trigger? Either you want to just the push event, send me everything, or let me select the individual event. I don't suppose just me send everything means any commit or any pull request or anything happens, it will build, but I don't want to build that. I just want the push event. That means when a developer locally works on the GitHub and then pushing that to the repository, that time it will be triggered. Okay, now let me update this webhook. Okay, my webhook is now updated. Okay, so okay, this is done, and last delivery was not successful to connect the host. It's like this. Okay, now what you can see, once I updated this, you'll find all these informations here, recent deliveries, all the logs, you'll find it here. So 30th October 10:03, it says like delivery did not happen. Just click this and it will give you all this JSON format, right? Why it did not able to do. What happens? Okay, all these information, see, all the information is available here. We could not deliver this payload, failed to connect to host. Right. Some setups I have done, I think SVN URL. The payload will using the current web. Anyway, we have not delivered anything, right? So that is why it is saying it. Okay, no worries. Let me just 1 second. Let us just do some changes. Okay. Now what we can do, we have set up the webhook for this project, right? Now what I'm going to do, suppose let me clone this one first. Let me clone this first. What is the project? Go to this project. I'm going to suppose clone it. Okay, just clone it. Go here. Okay, now I'm going to clone this project here. So what is the command, guys? Quickly tell me. I'm going to get and work on this project. Okay, so I'm going to get that project. What is the command? Local git command.
Git pull.
Get started.
Get
Hey man, guys, please please read and do practice here. I see these things. That's why everyone is very eager to go into the DevOps. So the time do practice. You'll not remember. It is simple. Git clone, right? I'm going to first time clone this project. Git clone, all done. Okay, what it says, destination path already exists. Okay, DevOps web, I have already have cloned it. Okay, the first thing is if you are going to clone it the new things, you have to first clone it. Okay, now what happens? Let me just create one folder called Java project and clone there. CD Java project git clone project name, username, so git ng for GitHub, ng for GitHub. I need to set up all this. Okay, fine. So okay, this token is fine. I can get this token here. Okay, now this project is cloned to the, so this is where I'm going to work. So firstly, I'm going to work on this project. So developer now just clone this project to the local environment. Okay, so what I'm going to do, go to this project first, project directory. So this is our, now this is my local repositories. Okay, I'm going to add something or modify something. So let's go to the source folder. I'm going to modify some of this project folder. Okay, where, okay, so I'm going to modify something here. Suppose, see, I'm using Linux VI editor to do that. So developers can use any tool, Eclipse or any VS Code, any tool to modify and work on that. Okay, so don't get confused all the time that you have to work on the Linux. No, suppose you are using on any tools, just clone that in your Windows machine, open the tool, and then you can just work on that. Okay, so I am not going to show you as a developer perspective. It's up to you how you code it. It's up to you how you code it. I'm using vi to code it, so it's up to you. Okay, so I can just give you like one example here. I'll just write it something like sorry, I'm going to write it something here like webhook demo. Yeah, save it. I saved it. So what is the command to what is the next command? I should I do it quickly? Tell me, then I'll write type it here. What is the next?
Git add. Git add.
Git add stuff is dot
File name.
that git commit. Git commit.
Commit.
Okay. Then next command is I want to push it to. So what is the command?
Git push the origin.
Push origin. Then repository.
Master. I'm pushing to master, right? Push it. So I have to give my token here. So it is now pushed. Okay. So you can see now if I quickly go to the Jenkins. Oh, sorry, it's not saved, right? I had not saved it. Okay. See, the fourth build has already triggered automatically. The fourth build has triggered automatically. 4:47. What is the time now? Which time it is giving? Which zone? Okay, fine. So you can see the fourth build is triggered now. I think immediately after the build, right? The fourth build, it is giving the finish time. What is this timing format? No problem. 4:47 or all this. Okay. Now what I'm going to do now? Let's do again. Okay. Let's do modify again. So I'm going to edit, suppose vi template. So let me just, so fourth last build is fourth build, right? Let me change to version 1.4. Change it. So let me quickly add commit post provide the token. Okay, so let's go here and check. Automatically 5 build will start. See, just wait for a few seconds. Okay, so the fourth build I think was built as part of the PollSCM or something, right? So I think there is a problem which we can find it. Where we can find it out? From the webhook. Okay, go to the settings and we can see the logs. Anyway, it was throwing some connectivity issues, right? Go to the sorry. Go to the webhooks. Okay, go to this and just a push event 13.232.39.231. It's correct only. This and deliveries. See, all these deliveries actually failing. So we just did 2 times push, right? So all these 2 times push here, 10.17 and 10.18, just to there, but it is failed. Okay, so let me show you the logs here. We could not deliver this payload, failed to connect to host. So it is not able to connect to the host. Why? Just 1 second. Some setup is required. Not giving other errors, right? So okay, for push, whatever things are modified, it is giving actually. For due to this region, it is pushed. Okay, modified. This is the file which we modified. So webhook trigger, my email ID is given here. All these things. This is the URL commit. This is the commit ID. Okay, webhook and all these triggers 48 template modified. The only thing is it gives us like. Okay, it gives us the we could not deliver this payload because failed to connect to host. So it is not able to connect to the host, means to the Jenkins server. Okay, so let me just change something here. Oh my god, here is a mistake, right? It's given a slash. See, it is given a slash. So guys, whatever I'm doing, are you watching or not? Okay, just watch it. Okay, here I've given an extra slash. That is what it is not able to connect to the server.
Connected.
Now, update webhook. Okay, so let's quickly again do some changes. I want to demonstrate the things, right? So, okay, if you want to do the redelivery now, it will be done, right? So let me redeliver this. Redeliver. Yes. See, it is now success. And if you see here, it will be another build will automatically trigger here. See, you can see now, right? It
Yeah,
is
triggered. Yeah.
automatically triggered in the Jenkins. Now I want to show you another automatic one so that you will be. I want to modify it. Suppose 5 version. Anything I just modify quickly. Add, commit. I pushed it now. Now what you will just see, as soon as I push there in Jenkins, it automatically triggered. I didn't do anything, right? It automatically trigger in the Jenkins. See, now you see this webhook actually is very important because you'll get questions on webhook definitely. So they'll ask like how you'll set up this automatic trigger of Jenkins job. You can say by using webhook. They'll say, have you used webhook to trigger the? Yes. So when the developer will push, immediately the event will be triggered by the GitHub itself. Now the trigger is happening by the GitHub. You can see now two successful delivery happens. Two successfully delivery happens for that. Okay. Now you are clear on the webhook part. This is very important, guys. So what we learned today, all this PollSCM and this. So far what is done, we have just built it and archived the project. So guys, if you are enjoying, can we proceed another half an hour so that I can show you the delivery part? Can we continue for another another half an hour? Okay, so that then I can show you the delivery part today also. Then the next
Ranjit, I will dropping off now. I need to go somewhere.
okay. So guys, I think what do you guys say? So can we continue to show you deliver, because so far we have not seen the application, we are only seeing the building and continuous integration part, but delivery part I will just show you, and then what we'll do, we have lot more things pending to cover it. Okay, so 8:30, 9:30, 10:30, only 2 hours. Let's go. Sorry, only 1 hour, 2 hours. Let's continue half an hour. Okay. Oh, you guys are busy.
I am okay.
Guys, say something. Say something.
I am
Go ahead.
okay. I am waiting update from rest of the guys.
Okay, okay. I think let's stop it here. Mari also is going out, and weekend and 10:30 today now. I was thinking to cover until 11 o'clock because see, there are lots of things pending. Otherwise, Jenkins will be delayed. We have to do this downstream, upstream project. We have to do this master slave architecture. We have to see the labeling. We have to do another .NET project. We have to do a lot more other things, and the pipeline is very important. That will take at least one day class, and then we'll go for multi-branch pipeline. Okay, so those things are actually pending, so we'll quickly go through that. Maybe tomorrow, guys, everyone, I'll expect everyone to join. Okay, tomorrow I'll expect everyone to join, because whatever things I'm going to do, it will help you to understand, do by yourself. And also I'm stopping it here, guys. So whatever I taught today, please do practice, do 2 times at least, create 2 jobs. First job, at least if you're forgetting anything, watch the video, do the job setup. Next time, without watching video, by do yourself whatever I just taught you today. Created one project, PollSCM, GitHub Webhook, building, Maven setup, Git setup, everything. Just do today, and tomorrow um, I will show you some other topics which will be advanced one, and that is very important. Okay, I'll show you how to the executions happen, how to connect to the different server, and how to deploy this into the Tomcat server. This is what we now build the project, but I have to just deliver this project to the test environment, the staging environment through Jenkins. That I'll show you tomorrow. Okay, don't miss tomorrow's class.
Sure, Ranjit. Ranjit, we expect you to deliver this video in another 2 or 3 hours, something like that, so that we will try practicing it. And you showed me that you showed us that document, right, where you needs to install Maven and all those things.
Share that one also in the group.
Please share the document also.
I'll share it
Okay.
in another.
Thank you, Ranjit.
Okay, thank you guys. See you.